In a small South African town, where the sun rose over rustling palm trees, and the hum of sewing machines filled the air, lived a young tailor named Grace. Grace didn't have a fancy shop, just a wooden table, an old but faithful sewing machine, and hands that turned plain fabric into elegance. Brides, mothers, students, they all trusted her. Her gift wasn't loud. It was quiet, steady, powerful. But Grace had a secret. Every time someone complimented her work, she smiled, but inside, a small voice whispered, "You're just a local tailor. You don't belong in big places." One evening, her friend Faith sent her a link to an international fashion design competition. "Grace, this is your moment. Apply." Grace stared at the screen. Her heart fluttered. But then, that voice again. "Me, compete with designers from Milan, Tokyo, and New York. I'd look like a grasshopper among giants." Later that night, Grace couldn't sleep. She reached for her Bible, flipping pages until her eyes landed on Numbers 13:33. "We saw the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight." She paused. Reread it. "The Israelites didn't lose because the giants were too big. They lost because they saw themselves as too small." And that's when it hit her. The problem isn't the competition. It's how I see myself. The next day, with trembling hands, Grace took a deep breath, sketched out a bold Schweiz-inspired gown, and submitted her application. She didn't tell anyone, not even Faith, because even though she acted in faith, fear still whispered in the background. Weeks later, an email arrived. She didn't win, but she was a finalist. And her design, it got noticed by a fashion editor in Milan. Soon, she was invited to collaborate on a limited edition collection. Her bold, culturally rich designs were exactly what the industry had been missing. Today, Grace's name is known in places she once only dreamed of. But more importantly, she mentors young girls from her town, girls who remind her of herself. She tells them, "There will always be giants in the land, but you are not a grasshopper." That's just the fear talking. Because sometimes, the biggest battles aren't fought with fabric and thread. They're fought in the mind with faith as your pattern, and courage as your needle. Stop shrinking to fit your fear. Stand tall in your gift. Subscribe for more faith-filled stories stitched with style.